and today is episode 2 in the Vlog Life series, and I am chatting with the sweet Karen from So Little Time, and I will have a link to her channel in the description box. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to her channel. You will love her and her vlogs. And here is my conversation with Karen. Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for joining me in the Vlog Life series, where we're going to talk all things YouTube and dive a little deeper into what it's really like to have a sewing YouTube channel. So thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm so excited to be here. So thank you for having me on.
I'm excited to have you. As you know, you are the one who inspired me to start my own channel, and you have been so gracious and kind and helping and supporting me, and I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm so glad. And it's really, really nice to hear you say that I was the one that inspired you. It's just fantastic, you know, that we're reaching all edges of the country.
Yes, I agree. Okay, when did you start your YouTube channel?
I started in August 2018, which was the year that I moved into this house that I'm in now. And the reason I started it then was because I was previous to that watching other YouTube bloggers and just took inspiration from them, and it sort of urged me to start my own channel. And at that time I had Harry, my eldest, had just started at preschool, and my twins were quite young, so they were still having quite long naps in the day, so it gave me the opportunity to sort of set up my camera and have a little chat to myself and then upload my videos. So I started it August 2018.
That was wonderful. So almost 3 years.
Yeah. So it's been a while. I haven't been as consistent as I'd hoped to, but you know, family life is very busy, and you know, just obviously with this pandemic as well, it changed a lot of things. So yeah, it's been really nice to have something as a sideline though, other than being a mum.
Yes, and life always happens, as we know.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what prompted you to start your YouTube channel? Were watching other sewing bloggers?
Yeah, it was. And it was actually one lady in particular who I was watching at the time. She doesn't vlog any longer, unfortunately, but her name was Emily, and she had a YouTube channel called Pins and Wax Prints, and she's a British lady who was actually living in Cameroon at the time. I think she is still there, and I just really liked watching her, and she just totally inspired me. And at that point, that was when I first started my dressmaking journey. As before, I was already a sewist, but I hadn't really delved into the dressmaking side of things, and so it just coincided with watching her and me doing a lot of Tilly and the Buttons patterns at the time. She was actually going through the book, so that really inspired me. So I thought, well, yeah, I want to have a go at doing this YouTube malarkey. So yeah, that's what it was.
I've noticed you UK ladies love your Tilly patterns.
Oh, we do, yes. And I think it's because they're quite an easy sew, and a lot of the styles just tend to suit my body shape. So yeah, and because I started with her, I think every time a new pattern came out, it sort of urged me to continue with her, you know, and so it encouraged me to try other patterns as well, because I built my skills from her holding my hand basically through the instruction booklet that she provides.
Amazing that you've only been dressmaking for 3 years.
I think it feels like it's longer than that. I think I had done a little bit of dressmaking with regards to sewing things for children, and just trying out patterns and things, but really I didn't know what I was doing. It was just trial and error, as it were. But I basically started when I was 30 was when I started my sewing journey, and I just did homeware and pillowcases, bags, and gifts for people really. But dressmaking itself for myself was just about 3-4 years ago. Yeah,
that's amazing, because your garments are beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, how has YouTube changed since you started your channel?
I think it's just got a wider sort of audience base now, whereas I think back in the day when YouTube first sort of came around, it was more for you blooper type videos and fun things. And now I think it's more based on an educational side of things. I mean, with the homeschooling I've been doing with my children, it's really come into play with using YouTube as an educational platform for them, because there's been a lot of YouTube educational channels specifically designed for homeschooling and for children and learning at home and that kind of thing. So recently I found that has really helped, obviously, with our current situation. But I also find that now there's so many different kind of people out there doing videos for different variety of lifestyle, I suppose. And as sewists, you know, there are a lot of people to watch, so it's good for us.
I agree. I always say anything you want to know is probably on YouTube.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah.
We fixed our dishwasher.
Did you?
YouTube.
That's brilliant.
Just about anything you need to know is on there.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I think my husband probably did look at you know, the YouTube kind of library that there were for when he was doing his building of the tree house for the children, because I think he probably took inspiration and how to do things from there. But yeah, it's been very handy.
I know, it's amazing. It's a great resource.
It is.
Okay, how have you changed since you started your YouTube channel?
I think I've become a lot more confident in front of the camera, because obviously it is quite a scary thing putting yourself out there into the world for everybody to see your airs and graces. And I think, you know, you're sat at home in front of a camera and it's not natural to sort of talk to yourself, is it? And you don't know where you're looking initially, and yeah, get all tongue-tied and the volume's not right and things. So I think as time has progressed, I have become a lot more confident in front of the camera. I am still aware that I talk a million miles an hour, but that's just me. I can't help myself. Yeah, and I think it's just made me more confident in my sewing as well, you know, in my ability to actually produce garments and show it to other people and actually know what I'm talking about. You know, and I think it's also spurred me on to make more garments, you know, and I'm now near enough getting to a whole me-made wardrobe, which I never ever would have thought I'd get to that stage. But I've just sort of been spinning out all these clothes because I've been inspired by other bloggers, Instagram, you know, and all that kind of thing. And yeah, so I think I'm more confident in my sewing, more confident in putting myself out there into the YouTube world and sitting in front of the camera.
That is absolutely wonderful. Okay.
Thank you.
At any point, have you wanted to, I hate to use the words give up, but maybe not do your channel anymore at any point? Have you had any of those?
No, I've not. So far, so good. I've been wanting to continue. I've actually been wanting to get on more than I actually have been able to ever since I've started my channel. But, you know, like you say, family life can get in the way sometimes, and they will always come first at the end of the day. So I've never wanted to give up. I want to continue and hopefully get on a little bit more often now that I've got all my 3 children at school. So that will be a lot more helpful for me to actually get some vlogs up.
Oh yes, that's definitely more helpful, especially with 3 boys. I'm a boy mom too, so I totally get it. Okay, what is the most rewarding thing about having a YouTube channel?
It's definitely meeting various different other sewers and just making new friends. I think that is really been the most rewarding thing, amongst all the lovely comments and feedback that you obviously get, which spurs you to do more videos. But I've met, you know, various different people throughout the UK, abroad, and we've met in person at sewing events and that kind of thing. It's just really, really nice, and I would never have met these people if it hadn't have been for having a YouTube channel.
I totally agree. The sewing community is amazing. I mean, even you and I mean, you're in the UK and I'm here in America, and I consider us friends. And it's just amazing that you make friends all around the world.
Absolutely.
With this
and it's
thing
like,
that we have in common.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, with total strangers, but then when you have something that you're really passionate about and that you've got that in common, you just have a mutual sort of ground about each other, and you just really just, you know, crack on and and get on with each other. Yeah, and I find that with everybody, you know, and I just find that the sewing community is such a lovely place. If you need any help, there's always somebody to answer your questions and queries, and you know, everybody inspires me as much as I hope that I inspire others.
I agree. It's like an immediate connection.
Absolutely.
Okay. What is the most challenging thing about having a YouTube channel?
It's definitely the time aspect, to be able to film, edit and upload, because if you are somebody who doesn't have a YouTube channel, it can look like it's just an easy job to, you know, upload a video onto YouTube, when it's really, really not. I think I was actually quite shocked when I first started my YouTube channel, actually how long it took to upload the video. And I thought, goodness, in this day and age, why isn't it uploaded just like that? You know, and it takes hours. And obviously, again, with the editing side of things, it's a long, long process and time consuming. I mean, for instance, if you say, for instance, you recorded your video on a morning on your iPhone or whatever, and then you think, well, I'm going to edit it and upload it in a day, it's going to take you a day to do it. It just takes such a long time. And I think that was one of the things that really shocked me, and especially because the equipment that I initially started using wasn't all that great. And so, and also when we first moved into this house, we didn't have any internet. So I kept having to go over to my mum and dad's to use their internet to upload. And so I was driving 6 miles to go to get the video actually uploaded. So yeah, I think that's the one thing that I think is the downside to it, is the length of time that it takes to do the editing. And there's so many different editing softwares out there that you don't really know which is right for you. And you know, I don't work, I'm a stay-at-home mum, so I don't want to have to pay for a monthly subscription to an editing software. I want a free one, but I want it to do all the things that I need it to do. And finding that kind of balance has been quite difficult, and I'm still now trying to improve all the time.
Yes, I agree about the software. I remember I had never edited a video before. I had no idea what I was doing for my first video. And oh my goodness, it took me probably 12 hours just to try to figure out simple editing. But as with anything, the more you do, the more you learn and improve. Absolutely. And things like that. So, but yes, yeah. I totally agree about that. Okay, let's talk about content a little bit. How do you balance choosing the content that maybe you personally want to put out there versus what you think would resonate well with your viewers?
I think initially, when I was obviously a viewer, I could see what I liked to see, you know, and I also can see as a YouTube creator now what my viewers do like. And you see that from watching other YouTube videos, what's the most popular. And for example, you know, your fabric hauls and your makes videos are always going to be up there as the highest viewed, alongside tutorials and that kind of thing. So I kind of knew that that was what I wanted to do anyway. So that also sort of played in my favor, that I wanted to do that. So I knew that I would get views on my videos for those types of things. But recently I've started incorporating a little bit more of a variety of crafts into my videos, because obviously the time aspect of dressmaking does take time, and obviously family life getting in the way. I just found that I wasn't able to upload those monthly plans and then follow it by my makes from the plans that I'd set out. And initially I did start doing that, but to keep up with that volume of sewing, it just wasn't really healthy. And I started kind of getting a little bit stressed about it all, really. And I was doing it more than I should have been. And then my husband wasn't getting any attention, you know. So really, I needed to kind of look at it how I could do it, because it's all very well uploading content that you know your viewers would like to see, but it's not healthy to do it when it's not comfortable for you, if you see what I mean. And I think moving forwards, I still will be incorporating 100% my dressmaking, but I am now starting to include, you know, my crochet and other sort of sewing crafts, knitting, a bit of my lifestyle as well, because I think it's nice to know the person behind the camera and the sewing machine. And I hope that people do want to see that as well, but at least I'm still showing creative content. And I have found, actually doing that recently, I have inspired others to pick up certain bits of other crafts, and I've taken inspiration from other YouTube vloggers who are originally sewists, who are now showing their other crafts as well. So it really spurred me on to do that, and I'm enjoying it. It feels a bit more of a relaxed kind of style video that I'm doing now, and I've just obviously taken on Friday Sews. So I'm hoping that's going to help me to get more regular content up. It may not all be about sewing, but at least it's something for me to put a video out there so I can connect with my viewers, because I do have ones that are loyal and they come back time and time again, and I've made a relationship with them. So it's nice to have that. Yeah, so that's how I've kind of worked it, really.
I love that you've added different things that you're showing on your videos. I'm sure.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm sure others do too. Okay. How do you handle unkind comments if you receive any?
Okay, well, I have to say that I have been very fortunate and lucky that I haven't actually received, I don't even think, one negative comment. And I mean, I have received constructive criticism in the past, but I don't put that as a negative comment. You know, I think to receive a negative comment when it's personal, it's uncalled for. I haven't had anything like that, and I'm a person that would not stand for it on my channel either. So if anybody was to comment like that, I would 100% block them, you know, and not have them hopefully do that again. I'm not one to take that lightly, you know, and I don't take any rubbish. I do stand to my ground and stand up for myself. And I think, luckily for me, because my channel is still fairly small, that I have very nice viewers come back again, and any new viewers that I've recently had have all, you know, been lovely. And I think when you have a common ground of what you're providing a service for, you know, dressmaking and giving inspiration and things, I hope that people kind of see that you are out there to help them and not show off and be you know, all bold and bolshy about what you've been making. And it's not a showing off kind of thing, is it? It's to give inspiration to others. It's to help other people in their sewing journey, because we were all beginners at one point, and you know, so we all use YouTube for information and inspiration and things. So yeah, I haven't received any, so I've been very, very lucky, but I'm pretty sure that won't last forever. And as my channel grows, the more viewers you get, the more likely you are to get negative comments. You know, I do get the thumbs down occasionally, but it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me.
That is so wonderful that you haven't received any, and hopefully as we go along in the series, hopefully that will be the norm for everyone.
I do think when you have a bigger channel, you are more likely to have a negative comment, because you may be getting viewers who aren't necessarily just dressmakers. It could be that, you know, they just watch your channel just because you have a big channel. I don't know, but I know friends have received negative comments, and it really does affect them. And I don't think the people behind the keyboard realize how hurtful they actually can be, you know, because it takes a lot to put yourself out there in the world. And okay, you do kind of have to expect the criticism and the negative side of that, because it's a social media platform at the end of the day, and it does have a horrible side to it. But yes, I've been very, very fortunate, and you know, I'm really, really lucky. I'd say lucky because I'm pretty sure it's not going to last forever.
Well, we can pray that it does.
Yeah,
you and I, yes, you and I are in the a support group for vloggers, and we've had someone tell us that someone watching their video not only commented to tell them that they needed a haircut, but also proceeded to tell them that they needed 3 inches cut off. So
I know, it's crazy what some people put on the people's comments, you know, and you just think other people are reading this as well. And I think sometimes it's good that other people can comment on other people's comments, so they like back you up before you even get a chance to answer that comment, I suppose, because there is that risk that your mouth can run away before your head thinks, you know. Yes. Let's not get carried away here. But it's nice to have that support Facebook group that we have, because you can sound off your worries and there will always be somebody there, you know, to pick you up off the floor, basically.
Yes, but I thought that was so funny, the precise amount of inches that they needed to have their haircut.
Yes.
Okay, back to when you started your channel. At that time, when you first started, did you have any long-term goals, or was it just, let's just do this and have some fun? Or
yeah, I didn't have a plan of action of you know, making it into a career or anything like that. It was literally just to document my sewing journey, to get on and give other people inspiration, sewing advice, you know, show my dressmaking journey, show what I've been able to make. And as I've progressed, you know, how the experience of sewing really you know, helps you to get further on. So it was really that, just for fun, and I still do it mainly for fun. And obviously, having a YouTube channel, I have been fortunate to have companies approach me to blog for them. So, you know, you do receive some fabric in return for that, and that's been wonderful, you know. And the companies that I do work for are marvelous, and I'm so happy and I'm honoured to have been asked to do that for them, you know. But I wouldn't do it for every Tom, Dick and Harry. I would, you know, I'm quite selective about who I work for as such. But yeah, I mean, in the future, who knows what the future holds once all my boys are established at school and I get to the point where I want to start a career again. You know, maybe sewing might be a part of that. I really don't know at this stage.
That's exciting. You know, like you said, you never know what.
Yeah, you just don't know what's around the corner. Yeah.
Okay, if we allow it, the comparison game can be discouraging. How do you handle the comparison game?
I try not to get too hung up on how many subscribers I've got, how many views my videos have had, how many likes it's had, how many dislikes and things, because I think it can really make you feel down if you think that you're not getting enough, you know. And when I first started my YouTube channel, I was really just happy to have like 100 subscribers at one point. You know, I was like, my goodness, there's 100 people. Imagine putting them in one room. That's a lot of people looking at me and listening to me and my sewing. And obviously, as time has gone on, that my channel has grown, but it's been a slow grower. It hasn't been one that's just, you know, rocketed at all. It has taken its time, and it's time and effort on both parties, really, I suppose. You know, you put the time and effort into film to upload it, but you've obviously got to make people aware that your video's out there as well. You can't just expect people to just find you. You know, you have to use other social media platforms to advertise the fact that you've put a video up. And also you need to be consistent, you know, with putting your sort of videos up. I wouldn't say you have to do it every week, but at least show your face every other month, you know, and then people will be expecting your videos. Because if you do it like once every 6 months, you're just going to fall off the radar and nobody's going to find your videos, purely because YouTube won't advertise your video because you're not uploading enough. It's the way all the analytics work and things like that. I mean, I don't really delve too much into it, but I know that obviously YouTube play a big part in advertising your video as well. So, and I just try not to look at other fellow sewing vloggers, I suppose, and think, oh, well, they've got more subscribers than I've got and they haven't been around as long, you know, and things like that. I think because at the end of the day, all our circumstances are completely different with our lifestyles, and some of us can upload weekly, daily, you know, and others can't. And it is down to how much you upload, how consistent you are, and obviously what you do show as to whether the viewers are interested in that. And we all know we like a fabric haul, we like a makes video. If you veer off from, you know, too far away from that, I think yes, the views will lower slightly. But yeah, I just try not to get hung up on it. And I think I feel happy where I am and how long it's taken me to get here. I'm happy that I can still comment back to every single person that comments on my video. I'm not too big that I can't do that. I like to personally respond to everybody. And yeah, and I think it's just nice to think that there are people viewing my video, and you know, you upload it and you can see it will be getting views straight away, which is great, you know. So yeah, I just try not to think about it too much, because I think if you do think about it too much, you can start thinking, well, I'm not good enough, and that's rubbish. You are. If you can inspire one person to pick up the sewing machine and do some sewing, then I think you've won, basically.
I love your attitude. That is so healthy and encouraging. Okay, speaking of starting and growing a channel, what advice would you give smaller channels who haven't reached the 1,000 subscribers milestone yet?
Okay, I would just say continue with what you're doing. If it makes you happy, continue with it. Your channel will grow. It might not be overnight, it might not be in 6 months' time, but eventually you will get there. People will start to view your videos. But it all comes down to, like I've said before, consistency of how regular you get your videos uploaded and the content that you provide to people. I think it's just one of those things, you know, if you're somebody who has a lot of time and you have a lot of time to sew, and you can share a lot more, then people are, you know, you're going to upload your videos quicker and you're going to have more to show. But we're not all at that point in our lives where, you know, if you have a family, especially a young family like myself, you just don't have the time. And I don't sew on a weekend because that's family time, whereas other sewers who don't have a family will probably use the whole of the weekend to sew, you know, and that kind of thing. So yeah, be consistent, keep doing what you're doing. If it makes you happy, you know, if it's not making you happy, don't do it anymore. You know, there's no harm in that. At least you've tried, I would say, for sure. So as long as it's making you happy, continue, and success will come. It will.
I agree. Just hang in there and do the best you can. And
yeah, you don't have to be top of your game. You know, we're all small fish in a big pond, I suppose, at the end of the day, and that, you know, there will be some bigger fish, there will be some smaller fish. It doesn't matter. We all still love the same thing, and if it makes you happy, continue vlogging. I love vlogging, you know, and I don't care if people stopped watching. As long as I still got a couple, I'd be fine.
Such a great attitude.
I think you have to have that kind of attitude, don't you? Because otherwise I think you get so disheartened, because, you know, things do take time with anything takes time, doesn't it, if you want success?
Yes, I totally agree. What do you think is the biggest misconception out there about having a sewing YouTube channel?
I think that it's easy. It's not. Yeah, because it's not easy to have a YouTube channel, and I think some people may think it is just easy to have one, and also that you get everything for free because you upload videos, you know, that companies just fling fabric at you left, right and center, when it's not the case. You know, you can be fortunate to have companies approach you and you would like, you know, would you like to blog for them and in return receive free fabric, which is great, but not everybody gets that, and not every company is going to approach you. So I think that, yeah, some people may think that because we blog and we show lots of fabric and we make lots of things, that we get all this for free. It's not the case at all. You know, we do all put the hard work in ourselves and buy the fabrics and buy the notions, and also, you know, we don't always have all the equipment to be brilliant at uploading a video. I think as long as you've got a phone and somewhere that you can edit it and upload, then, you know, you're way to go, really. It doesn't have to be all singing and dancing at the end of the day. Yeah, so but it's not easy. I would say that's the biggest misconception. I think that people just think it's easy to upload a video, and it's not.
Wouldn't flinging fabric be so fun?
Yes. Fling it all my way. I'll take it.
I agree. What advice would you give fellow sewing vloggers on YouTube?
I think people who are already established, they probably wouldn't need any advice from me, because they already know kind of what they're doing and what people like to see. But if it's somebody, for instance, who's starting from scratch, then I would just say, you know, be yourself. You know, don't put on a persona, not somebody that you're not. You need to just be yourself, be relaxed, be friendly, you know, and have a happy sort of disposition about you. I think, you know, people log on to YouTube because they want to watch something that's going to make them happy at the end of the day. And I think you need to have a happy personality, or at least come across that way on your video, you know, to encourage people to want to watch, for one. And yeah, just to be consistent with what you're uploading and how often you upload. If you want people to come back and watch your videos, that's really the main advice. Yeah, just be happy and go from there, really.
And I also think that people want to see real people.
Absolutely, yeah. I think when you have more of a real attitude about you, you know, you show your faults as well as the positive side of things, not just with your personality, but with your sewing. You know, we all have make mistakes. I mean, goodness, there's garments that have just gone in the bin, you know, unfortunately, that just haven't gone right. And we all have that. You know, I've actually just recently made a robe style top that I'll be showing in a future video, and that hasn't gone to plan, you know, and it's not my best work at all, but I will be sharing that. You know, it's not something that I'm just like, oh, well, I'm not going to wear that now, because I will. It's just something that I think, well, you know, it's mine. Nobody else is going to notice, really, that what mistakes I've made on it. It's fine. I will wear it. Yeah. So I think it's good to be real, because I think that's one thing. If you have a really good video where it's edited really, you know, to the T, people can think that you're just so perfect, but really you're not. You're just hiding everything.
I know. I call my mistakes design choices, and I love showing those. And there's usually at least one in every make. So, but
yeah, and I think we all do it, don't we? As soon as we show anybody our makes, we're like, well, this went wrong as well, and look at this, you know, and they're like, what are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with it.
People love seeing that, though. That
they do, yeah.
People are real. Okay, if someone is thinking about starting their own sewing or any YouTube channel, what advice would you give them?
I would just say, do it. If it's something you really feel passionate about and you really want to do it, then just go ahead and do it. You don't need all the equipment to start off with, because if you did that, you just never get started, because the equipment is expensive at the end of the day. And, you know, if you've got a phone and you can just pop it on a book or something and you can film yourself, then yeah, that's all you really need to start with, you know, and you will learn as you go along what works for you, you know, whether the viewer will comment and say you're not looking in the right place on the camera, you know, then you will be told if something's not right. Because when I first started, I wasn't looking in the right place. I was looking at myself. And so on my first, I don't know, good 10 videos, I'm not looking directly at the camera, you know, but I still had views. People still viewed my channel and enjoyed the content. It wasn't perfect, you know, my sound wasn't right. I had to buy a microphone, and then that packed in, and you know, there was videos that had gone up where I didn't even realize the microphone wasn't working, you know, and things like that. So, and I don't wear a microphone anymore, because now I'm using something else to film on. It's loud enough, I think, that people can hear me without it, you know. And you can go out and buy really expensive equipment, but then if you don't know what you're doing with it, you know, then it's useless. You need to be able to know what you're doing. And there are, like I say, so many editing software out there. You just need to find the right one for you, and find a free one. Don't pay for one, you know, find a free one that works for you. And yeah, just give it a go and upload, and then you will just learn as you go along. And there's nothing to be scared of, you know. There's nothing wrong about putting a video up that's not perfect. You don't have to have a thumbnail, you know. You can just have the video where you're kind of, you know, halfway through the video. Don't even put a title on it or anything if you don't want to, you know. But yeah, you just learn as you go along. And I think if you really feel passionate about doing it, and you know, are passionate about what you're telling people in your video about sewing and that kind of thing, then people are really going to want to see what you're bringing. Yeah,
I totally agree. Like we said, just be you, be authentic, and just go for it.
yeah. I was using a really rubbish phone when I first started, driving over to my parents' house to upload the video, getting really cross with the editing because it wouldn't work properly, you know. And nobody knew all that was happening in the background. All they could see was this video coming up with me all like la la la, you know. This is all it's all so easy. It's really not. But yeah, and then, you know, as my channel has gone on, if you look at my first videos, you will see that I'm looking completely offside. There's no thumbnail, you know, and the editing is to the point that I'm switching the camera off like this, and my hands all over the place. Things like that. Whereas now, you just grow with the experience, I think.
I totally agree. And that's why I wanted to do this series, is for everyone to see the backstory, what really goes on.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say even now that I'm 100% successful with editing and things like that. I'm still learning, and I'm still trying to find the next best editing software or the best thing to film on, you know. But I don't work. I can't afford to go out and buy a £1 million camera, you know, that's going to do everything for me. And I probably wouldn't even know how to use it, even if I did get one, you know. So a phone will do, my laptop will do for editing on, and I use a free software. I don't pay for one, and it's working out just fine, I think, you know.
Great advice. So anyone out there who's thinking of starting their channel, just go for it. We're here
Yeah,
for
just
you.
do it. Just do it.
And
I think the
yes,
hardest thing was deciding on a channel name. Because I don't have any time to sew, hardly any time to sew. So little time to seem the right sort of name, and nobody else had got it, so that just stuck.
well, it is perfect. Thank you so much, Karen, for joining me in this series. I cannot wait for the viewers to see it and hear all your wonderful answers. And thank you again so much. It was so much fun.
Yes, thank you very much, Andrea. I've really enjoyed it. And I thought I was going to get in a bit more of a mess about answering the questions as I did. So I think it's been successful.
Yes, you were you, which is what everyone wants to see.
Oh, thank you very much. I really hope to, see what the feedback is like, really. And I'm excited to see who your next guests are going to be on your channel.
I know, I have a great lineup. I'm very excited.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
I know. Thank you so much.
Oh, you are welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Isn't she the sweetest? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I really hope you're enjoying this inside scoop and behind the scenes about what it's really like to have a YouTube channel. Let me know if you're enjoying this series. Let me know what you thought about her answers. Were you expecting a different answer? I'm really enjoying this series and hope you guys are too. So please comment below and let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my video. If you'd like to see future videos, please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. See you next time. Bye.